going to turn now to Senator Saxby Chambliss. He was the top Republican on the Senate Intelligence Committee. He is retiring, and he joins us now from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, Senator, thank you for coming. You said earlier there is no doubt that the practices that the CIA used saved lives and weakened al-Qaeda, and in your words, that was incontrovertible. You heard Senator McCain. You've heard what Democrats on the committee said. They said it didn't do any of that. How can people be so opposite in the conclusions? Were you looking at the same set of facts that the Democrats were?
Obviously, we were, Bob, and of course, John McCain is one more great American. He's my dear personal friend, and I have such great respect for him. And he has an awful lot of credibility on this and every other issue he talks about, and I do respect that. But Bob, I've been watching this intel come out of the interrogation program since it was initiated back in 2002. I've seen it on a regular daily basis. I was not briefed into all of the EITs early on, but let's just take one example. Abu Zubaydah, he was one of the three, and you got to remember there were 789 detainees sent to Gitmo. Three of them, 3 out of 789 were waterboarded. Abu Zubaydah was one of them. There were 766 actionable intelligence reports written from Abu Zubaydah. Now, just common sense and logic would tell you some of those reports were the result of statements that Abu Zubaydah made after he went through the EIT program. And let me say that most of those reports came after that. Once he broke, then he was just a treasure trove of information. So that is kind of incontrovertible from those of us who were there, who heard the intel reports come in. And the other thing I would say is, with respect to those brave men and women at the CIA, Bob, you and I were both, we know exactly where we were on the morning of September 11. Abu Zubaydah and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, two of the individuals subjected to waterboarding, were the masterminds of 9/11. They were the ones who told those 9/11 hijackers, take those box cutters, go slit the throats of airline pilots and take over the airliners, fly those airplanes into buildings. They did it. They killed Americans. Americans were scared to death. They were frustrated. And they were in mourning, and they were scared to death that something else like this might happen again. And that's when this program was initiated. It was, the waterboarding was terminated in 2003 and only applied to 3 individuals, but they were the masterminds of this.
Senator,
and we gleaned a treasure trove from all 3 of them.
Senator, let me ask you this question. Earlier this year, it came to light that the CIA had actually hacked into the computers of investigators on this intelligence committee. Now, obviously, that is wrong. That is seriously wrong, and it had to be corrected. But some are saying that this report came out because it was the committee staff's way of getting back at the CIA. Do you think there's anything to that?
No, I don't think so. I think long before we found out about what the CIA had done relative to the Senate side of the computers that were located at a CIA facility, there was a determination by the leadership on the Intel Committee and by the Democratic members that this report needed to be made public. I don't think that. There is a commission that has that issue under investigation right now, and I will tell you, Bob, if it is determined without question that they did breach the Senate side of the computers, that's wrong. I have been very vocal about that, and action needs to be taken if that was the case.
Let me ask you this question. If the CIA did get credible information from using these methods, as you say they did, should they use these methods in the future if it becomes necessary?
I think it's pretty obvious that the CIA, back a couple of years ago when they acknowledged that, that some things went wrong, and they said some changes are going to be made, While they they carried out this program and used these techniques under what we call color of law, i.e. the Department of Justice under both Bush and subsequently under Obama made a determination that there were no crimes committed here, there was nothing prosecutorial. The Bush administration Department of Justice even determined that these enhanced interrogation techniques were legal, they were authorized by the Department of Justice. That's the scenario under which these individuals carried out these interrogations. So I think changes have been made. You have to remember, and there will be additional changes made, Bob, if as you go through, as the CIA goes through the review of this.
All right, Senator, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us
Sure.
and giving us your side of it.